In order to speak to anyone, we need to construct sentences right at that moment when we are in a conversation. Right? Do you agree with me? If I want to speak to you, I need to construct a sentence at that particular moment in a flow. That is how we will do good conversations. If we are able to construct sentences automatically within a flow, then it means that we are fluent in English. So in this video, let me tell you some of the tips that will be useful to you to construct sentences while you are actually speaking to anyone. Okay, so without any ado, let's dive into the video. Hi, namaste, welcome back to Learn with Gowthami channel. So in order to construct sentences spontaneously in English, you need to practice thinking in English. This is the first tip. This is the first practice that you need to do. You need to think in English. You need to make it a habit to think in English. See, you are not a native speaker of English, right? I don't know you maybe, but I am not a native speaker of English. It will be too hard for me if I do this process of translation in my head and then speak. My fluency is going to break down, right? So what I need to do? If I want to be fluent in speaking English, and if I want to speak English fluently, then what I need to do is that I need to make sentences one by one immediately. In order to do that, I need to practice thinking in English, and I should have that habit. Then only I can switch from my native language to English. That is what I want to stress upon. You need to think in English. If you want to make sentences in English spontaneously in a conversation, you need to practice thinking in English a lot. The next tip is that stop this process of translation. See, I translated many videos. I agree. I still agree that I was practicing translation technique, but I did not gain any fluency with that translation technique. Instead, I was every time afraid because I could not find the correct word to put instantly in that particular conversation. I was lacking words. I was lacking structure formations. I was lacking sentence formations. Which word to use? How to express? I was not able to do any of this. See, I agree that it is really hard to stop this process of translation at the initial stages, but you need to stop it. You need to train your mind to stop this process of translation and think in English only. Then only it is possible. The next tip is that you need to speak a lot in English. What happens is that if I am speaking in English a lot, then it means that I am thinking in English a lot. That is how you need to develop this process of thinking. Okay, so make it a habit to find opportunities to speak in English and utilize those opportunities to speak English and identify your mistakes. The next tip is that making more and more conversations with people. This is the main thing, because if you meet people, if you make up conversations, then you will come to know what are the trending topics or what are the trending things that are going around you, right? What are the people talking about? What are the events that recently happened? Or what are people interested to know more about, right? So don't skip this process. You need to make a lot of conversations with the people. Then only you will get to know what are the mistakes that you are knowing. Not only making up conversations, it would be beneficial if you ask for feedbacks also. Feedback are like God. You need to make the best use of those feedbacks and work on your weak areas to make them strong and improve your fluency. If you are making more and more conversations, then your mind will be trained to make a number of sentences. The another thing is that speak to yourself. Whatever you see, whatever you want, speak to yourself in English. That is how you will be actually habituated to frame sentences in English instantly. The next thing you need to focus is that vocabulary. In order to make a perfect, in order to make a good sentence, you need to know those words that are useful to construct that particular sentence, right? You must be able to tell a particular thing or express your view using less words. The less the words you are using, the more the impact the sentence will have. Okay? For example, I am very fond of eating ice creams. I love ice creams. See, both have same meaning, but I am very fond of eating ice creams and I love ice creams. Even though they have the same meaning, the impact of it is different because the other person will be able to understand me if I say I love ice creams, right? So, make it a habit to enlarge your vocabulary. Make it a regular practice to build up your vocabulary every day. It is okay even if you are learning one word per day. It means that you are learning 30 to 31 words per month, right? So, what are you worried about? Why are you rushing to learn this language? Give it some time. Make it a fun way to learn this language. If you pressure your mind that I need to construct a beautiful sentence, then you are not going to construct any sentence. Right? You should not pressure your mind that you need to make a perfect sentence. You need to speak out whatever sentence that you are framing in your mind. If you speak out only, you will be able to know your mistakes. Then only you will get the chance to correct your sentence. Right? So don't try to be perfect each and every time you speak. The next tip that is useful to you to frame sentences is that watching content or whatever you read, whatever you write, and whatever you listen, you need to do that in English. Then what happens is that you will be familiar with that sentence structure. You will be familiar with that words that are used in that particular topic, right? So it will be habituated to you and you will end up using those sentence structures and those words, and you will end up framing nice sentences in that particular situation regarding that particular content. Okay, so make it a habit to watch anything or listen anything or read anything about a particular topic in English. The next best practice is that narrate your day in English. Whatever things, whatever works you have done the whole day, please make sentences. Please make it a habit to write sentences in English. See, yesterday is not same as today, right? Tomorrow is not going to be like today. See, today I did head bath. Yesterday I did not do. So, if I narrate my day, I will not say that I applied oil to my hair today. Right, I'm not going to add that sentence because I actually did head bath. That is what I wanted to make it clear. If you narrate each and every day, then you will end up making more and more sentences. So it will be a practice to you to think in English and to make sentences instantly. And please make it clear that you need to utilize every opportunity to speak out. I told you so many times, you may be very good at framing sentences inside you, but if you are not actually speaking out, it is of no use. Please rectify that mistake. It is a thing, or it is framing sentences is an art that is going to improve percent by percent. At the initial stages, you will be able to learn only words: sit, stand, come, go, right? After that, what are you going to do? You are going to learn phrasal verbs: come here, sit there, go there, eat this, right? After that, what are you going to do? You are learning how to frame sentences. I want to eat ice cream. I want to sit on the table. This is a process that is going to improve day by day, percent by percent. The more time you allot to framing sentences in English, the more familiar you will be able to frame sentences in English when you are actually in a conversation. The next thing is that you can make use of sentence structures. You know, right? You can learn English in chunks. So what are you going to do is that you learn those chunks and frame sentences using those chunks. For example, I will. I will. It is a sentence structure. I will is a chunk. I will go. I will eat. I will sit. I will talk. I will walk. I will speak. I will sleep. What are you going to do is that you need to learn that particular chunk and start making sentences by adding the verb. That is how you need to start making sentences. Okay, learn those sentence structures that you need to use daily and make it a practice to use them regularly. Then it will be very easy to you to frame sentences whenever necessary. The next thing is that don't be afraid of making mistakes. See, while you are framing a sentence, there may be grammatical mistake, there may be pronunciation mistake, right? Don't be afraid of these mistakes and stop speaking. Okay, just speak out with whatever sentence that you have built up. Only if you speak out, as I said earlier, you will come to know your mistakes. You need to know your weak spots in order to strengthen them, right? So don't feel that you are going to speak out or you are going to utter that word or frame sentences only when you are 100% correct or 100% perfect. Okay, don't do that. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. What I feel is that, are you able to deliver your thoughts correctly? The other person is able to understand your intentions. The other person is able to understand your ideas. That is main important. Okay? You need to practice to make correct sentences. You need to practice with consistency. Okay? You should not think that today I have constructed 10 sentences. Oh, I have done a great job. You need to appreciate whenever you do, but you should not procrastinate the next day. Okay? At the initial stages, everyone will be very enthusiastic. They will have a whole book. They will learn all the chunks for 1 month. After 1 month, they will think that it's okay. I have learned all this. It's enough. I'm not going to enhance my vocabulary. I'm not going to enlarge my vocabulary. I'm not going to learn English. I'm not going to construct sentences. I'm not going to think in English. Then how is it possible to achieve fluency in this language? Right? In order to achieve fluency in this language, you need to construct sentences one by one immediately and instantly. It is very crucial to construct sentences at that particular conversation or at that point of time when you are delivering a speech. Okay, do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments whether you liked this video or not, and if you liked this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing this channel. This channel needs your support a lot. Please share it to your friends and family members who are struggling to learn English. And thank you for joining me till the end. See you soon in the next video.